Alright guys, back for part 2. I'm going to be doing the electrical side of everything on the Nitrous install. If you watched the other one, first video, we got everything all plumbed up and everything, mounted, solenoids, the plate, all that stuff. Lines ran, bottle mounted, all that good stuff. So now it's time to wire everything and handle all of that, the electrical side. And then we can start testing and leak checking and get ready to start doing some testing. So what we got is we got to hook up the Lingenfelter for the timing control, for the timing retard, and then for the two-step. Shout out to my buddy Jose, Street Muscle Racing. I had a MSD two-step on this thing. That's what I've always had, and he had this one and ended up not using it, but he wanted to put the two-step on it still. So we traded because he didn't need the timing control, because he's got a little nitrous on his, but they activated a different. They were controlling timing in a different way, so he ended up not needing it. We traded, so shout out to him for that. So this is really easy. It just plugs into the coils. That gets all power and ground, everything through there. And then we got the yellow is a 12-volt activation for the two-step, and then orange is for the retard. So we're going to be using a Nitrous Express Maximizer 6 for the progressive and all the other safeties and everything that this offers. So there'll be an output off of here that we're going to hook to this orange wire, that when the nitrous comes on, it's going to say pull how many ever degrees of timing that we command. It also gets 12 volts signal, and we can set it up multiple ways in the computer, but primarily, like when we're doing dig racing and stuff, it will, when it sees the 12 volts, it will disarm the system and say, hey, don't spray the nitrous. And then whenever I let off the button, it will turn everything on. Assuming we have it set up that way. You can set it up on different timing ramps, and you can control it a bunch of different ways with this controller, which is why I decided to spend the money and put this in it. It's honestly probably a little bit overkill for what I'm doing right now, for the amount of nitrous we're spraying, but I kind of have some thoughts about what I want to do with that later. So we might grow into this controller a little bit. That's what I'm thinking. But that'll be pretty easy. I also decided to chip in a little extra money and get the signal synchronizer set away. I don't have to locate spots in the harness and then splice in and get the signal for the controller. Using this guy, all of this hooks up to the OBD port, and then it gets all of this stuff that we need for the window switch and all our different limits and all that stuff. It gets everything, looks at throttle position, everything right off the data stream. So we literally I think we have 4 wires off of here that we need. The rest of these are all inputs that you can add yourself if you wish. But I think there's only 4 wires that we need to get everything that we need, RPM, throttle percentage, all that kind of stuff. So should be pretty simple. I think we're going to mount the Maximizer inside the center console, and that should be a pretty simple install as well. I was looking, there wasn't any videos on YouTube that I could find of anybody hooking up a Maximizer 6 or a signal synchronizer, so I'm kind of excited to do that. We also got to hook up the wire of the bottle heater, and then obviously we got the relays and stuff to activate the nitrous and that stuff. So and then we also have to hook up the fuel. We got to hook up the relay and stuff for the fuel pump. But that's all pretty easy stuff, so let's get started. All right, so we're inside. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the console and stuff out, start getting the controller and stuff mounted, so I can kind of have an idea of where I need to get everything mounted. I think what I'm gonna do is, this is my two-step. This is for an electric cutout, which I haven't ran in years, so I'm probably just gonna take this out. So I don't even really use it. I just probably sell that. A buddy wants it anyway. But we're gonna pop the console up out of here. You're doing this in a Trailblazer. Pop the little bucket out. There's 2 screws here, 2 screws here. There's 2 7mm there, one down there, and then there's 2 more up under the cup holder here. And then you need to get your e-brake pulled up out of the way. The shifter handle, there's one little electrical, you just pop it up out, the little, pop the little shifter boot up out of here, like a little trim tool or little mini screwdriver. Electrical connector here, same thing, just a little flat bladed, a little trim tool, or I use a pocket screwdriver. And then there's a T15, the little set screw that you on this side, back it out, and then it just pops up. You need to get your keys, and we'll pull this back down into, or if you can get down to neutral, or you got to go all the way down to low gear. Either way, but then this whole console is loose, and it'll just pop right up out of here. So, and then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mount my my switches right here. Probably put the purge right here, arm, and then probably the bottle heater right here. I thought about taking the radio out, and I got some ABS plastic, little sheet that I could put back under here and make a switch panel. And I was going to mount the gauge for the nitrous, but I think I've done a wiper delete. If you haven't watched that video, go back and watch. You can watch the wiper delete video as well if you're interested in doing that. But I think I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. I've never had anything to really plug this with. Not enough reason to like pull the whole bezel and everything out. So I'm thinking about putting the nitrous gauge right here. So I got air to fuel there, put nitrous pressure there, and we'll have our switches so I can arm it and everything here. And I can always go back later and if I add like a bottle opener or something like that. All right, got the buttons mounted to blow all the dust, the shavings and everything out. But we're gonna have our switches. Probably put arm right here. This one will be for the bottle opener. This is purge, and then this is gonna be 2-step or nitrous activation right there. This one was I'd mounted this one there a long time ago. So my nitrous switch is up here. This one will be kind of separated for the 2-step, or like I said, I'll be able to flip another switch and then activate the nitrous by changing the settings in the computer with this one. But the majority of the time, this will be just 2-step. So, all right, getting the signal synchronizer mounted up. Plugs into the OBD port. Mine's right here. I'm gonna run it up. I'm gonna trim this down a little bit so that this sits up where it's supposed to be. Signal synchronizer itself is right here. I'm gonna probably for right now just tuck it behind the little trim. Got the harness ran around over here. We'll bring our main harness in from the Maximizer 6, and we'll end up making a connection down inside of here underneath the where the console goes. Maximizer 6 right here. I'm gonna put it inside the bucket for the center console, and yeah, so I said there's only 4 connections, which we'll get that hooked up and going. All right, we got the harness laid out from the signal synchronizer to the maximizer. We got the 4 connections hooked up that we need. Was input speed, RPM, it was the ground, and then the throttle percentage. All the other wires were for different applications, mostly aftermarket sensors, or sensor on some of the newer vehicles that don't go through the data stream in the way that the maximizer can interpret. That's the whole idea of the signal synchronizer. But a lot of the stuff for the maximizer that we don't need right now, so we just got them loomed away. We only have 4 wires left to terminate for the maximizer. We got power. This one is for the input into the Lingenfelter box, or whatever timing retard system you're going to use. We're using a Lingenfelter. This one's going to be bottle pressure. I'm going to pin that into my bottle pressure sensor so the maximizer can see it. And then this is for input, which most of the time is going to tell it to turn off, or to not allow the nitrous to activate, like when I'm on the 2-step. But we can also switch things around, like I was saying earlier, and set it up to where I can activate it, the nitrous, whichever stage. You can see I go in there and change the settings. If I ever decide to add a second stage, I can go in and set it up to where The first stage comes on automatically, and then the second stage comes on the button if I need it. But the majority of the time it will be there with the purpose of not allowing the nitrous to activate when the two-step is active. So we can be on the line, you know, on the two-step, wide open with the nitrous will not activate. Once I let off the button, then the nitrous will come on. So got these 4 connections left to make, and then this portion of it's done. All right, we got the harness laid in. I'm going to talk about before, signal synchronizers back here. Got it all kind of taken apart so we can start getting everything hooked up. These are the ground wires from the maximizer to the nitrous solenoid and to the fuel solenoid. I didn't mention it earlier, but we're hooking this up to use the AFR control that's built into the Maximizer 6. So the Maximizer will be controlling the nitrous and the fuel solenoids based off of the air to fuel ratio that it sees through the aftermarket, the wideband that we have. So it can actually pull nitrous or fuel to control the air to fuel ratio to keep it where we set it at in the computer. And then if everything gets too out of whack, whatever, it can turn the nitrous off completely. I liked that safety. That was one reason why I went with the Maximizer. But we got the harness laid in here. That wires for the timing retard up to the Lingenfelter box. We got our activation wire to the Maximizer and our input wire for the two-step to the button up here. RAN harness up here, gonna be kind of tucked away, and then the Maximizer 6 itself is right here. It'll mount somewhere in that location right there inside the console, which I have here. I got got it trimmed up, and I notched the bottom out of the floor, and then made a little false floor to keep everything, like all my time slips and whatever I put in here, just falling in, getting lost inside. So, but that's where we're at. Everything's pretty much laid where it needs to be as far as the harness and everything. Just need to start getting everything hooked up. Time to start wiring up our relays. We got to wire the relay for the bottle pressure, not bottle pressure, but the bottle heater, the nitrous itself, and then the fuel pump. And I think we're going to put those under the back seat. There's a little fuse box back there that we can get power off of and keep everything cleanly mounted right there. And then just run a couple of wires up to the solenoids and to solenoids, fuel pump, and then obviously the bottle warmer will be all inside. We can keep it tucked away, hidden under the carpet and everything. So yeah, that's where we're at. Let's get going. All right, making some progress. We got the bottle warmer. It's installed under the bottle. It's all, you really probably can't see it. Let me turn the light on. It's all wired up. Got the sensor. It's all wired in, connected. So bottle heater is done. The bottle heater actually took more time than anything else. I'm actually kind of disappointed. I wanted the bottle heater. It comes with a nice digital gauge, and it controls bottle pressure and everything all on its own off of whatever you set it to do. But I really wished it would have came with its own wiring harness. Making the wiring harness for the sensor and wiring all that stuff in, honestly, took it a lot longer than I anticipated it to. So, and I know some of the other manufacturers come with the wiring harness, at least for the sensor side of it, pre-done, and you just have to route it and terminate it. But not a big deal. There's really kind of nothing to see. It's all hidden. But the harness that we, I showed you after I got everything terminated and everything before I laid it in here, it's all in here hidden away. Everything's wired up. I think the only one more wire I have to run is from the purge to the solenoid. Everything else is hooked up and I just have to run the wires. I gotta make the hole a little bigger where I'm gonna put the grommet to run the wires through the firewall. I think that's it. Race truck. Got some colors in a race truck right here. It's really not. They a little clapped out Silverado. But got let me turn the light back on. Got the my relays mounted up here. Got them just secured with some push pins into the cover for the rear fuse panel. Got wires for fuel and nitrous off the relays. I'm gonna run them up front, and got the gauges all in here. I upgraded the Trailblazer came with a AFR gauge when I got it, but it was made by Grams. I don't even know who it's always worked good, but I decided to I needed a sensor, and it was almost as much money to get a whole new gauge as it was to just buy a sensor. So I decided to upgrade and get a new AEM, and then this is where I mounted the bottle pressure gauge right here. But got a new AEM, and the cool thing about this one I liked is that you could set it up to read off of lambda or off of air to fuel ratio. So I set it up on lambda. So I'm looking forward to that. I've always wanted a gauge that read off of lambda versus air to fuel. So I'll show you all that. Still got to hook up the new sensor, so it's going to show that it's a perfect stoic right now. One, and then got the bottle pressure. It's hooked up, and if I need to turn it on, press that button. Blue light means it's charging. Currently the set point is at 950. That button turns it off, and when it's on, when it's heating, it'll control bottle pressure off of the set point. It'll turn itself off and on and maintain bottle pressure. If you haven't already, go back and you watch the other video where we went to Houston Motorsports Park and raced. If you saw that one, you know that we didn't get the nitrous hooked up in time to go to use it there. Hope to do a little grudge race or anything. So we're back at it. Got everything wired up. The standalone fuel system, it's wired up. Solenoids, they're wired up. Tested the purge. Fuel pressure set. There's a tune in the computer. Right now we have 100 jets in it, which is honestly probably we're going to run it at most of the time. I have it set at 50%, so we're going to be using about 50 horsepower on just to test it. I do have a little bit of timing pulled, a little bit of extra timing pulled. We got 4 degrees pulled. I don't need to pull that much, but I just would like it extra safe. And we'll probably trickle it in. We'll honestly, with the way that it's set up, shouldn't need to pull any timing at all. But we're gonna start out slow and gonna keep going. It is time to throw some spark plugs in it. We're gonna be going from I think we got six heat range in it now for the NGKs. We're going to a 7, and we're gonna start there and start the tuning process. All right, we are back from the first test pass. We if you look, this is the graph. Hopefully it comes out all right on the maximizer. You can see that I sprayed it, so we got into second gear. I let off right at shifted into third. It's kind of hard to see, but you can, it's right in there. We're looking at the data here. Output 50% on output 1 and 2, which is nitrous and fuel. The air to fuel ratio, the one we're looking at right here, is in the kind of this teal, maybe blue color, whatever you want to call it. I think it's 0.93 right there. That's actually like the upper of the was down where we wanted it most of the time. But I need to set up the my power run reading, but everything looked pretty good. I would like to I'm definitely going to get do some research and figure out exactly what how much bigger of a jet I should put in it to make it just a little bit fatter. I don't know if when they say you know, run it a little bit bigger, I don't know if a 2,000 bigger jet is going to be enough, or I need to go bigger, or is that, you know, so I'll inquire with some people that know more than I do about that. I'm pulling the footage off of the GoPro right now. I had put a GoPro looking at the fuel pressure regulator, so I could verify 100% that fuel pressure stayed where I wanted it to, with as much fuel pump as it's in there, and with as little nitrous as we were using, as much fuel as it was using for that nitrous shot. I'm pretty confident that it's going to be totally fine, that I shouldn't have to make any adjustments. I got it set at 60 pounds, thinking that, you know, it'll drop a little bit. And when I spray it, maybe, if anything, like I said, there's I got a big pump in there. That's enough pump for, well, it's the same pump as what we used to pump the 85. It's a Walboro 450. So it should be rated for, you know, me putting both kits on it. You know, if I had 2 kits of nitrous and I was spraying all of it, from what I've researched, the pump should do enough for that. But yeah, we're gonna verify the fuel pressure's good. The log looked okay. I'm happy enough with that, and we're gonna let it cool off just a little bit, and we're gonna pull a plug out, look at a plug, see what they look like, make sure there's nothing funky going on there, make sure that our timing mark's good, and then I will probably we might go ahead and ramp it in all the way to 100 and go try it one more time, see what that feels like. 50 was you could definitely tell it was a little gain. I might spike it in a little bit faster this next time. That way, kind of feel it come in a little harder. I would imagine, you know, an extra 50 on top of that would probably be pretty noticeable. But anyway, we're going to check a plug, check this fuel pressure, and then we might try it again. All right, we're gonna pull one of the plugs out, see what it looks like. I got the wire off, got the, oh yeah. I'm not an expert by no means on reading plugs, but see if I can get this where you can see it. If it'll focus. But it looks like the timing mark's right there, which is super conservative. Super conservative. That might be fueling up. No, it looks like yeah, no, we're gonna, that was also 4 degrees pulled, so yeah, no, we can throw a bunch more timing at it. I pulled 1 degree out of the normal tune because it knock retarded at the last race. So I pulled 1 degree out, and then we got 4 degrees pulled with the nitrous. Yeah, no, looking at that, we can add it all. We can put it all back in. Huh, good sign. Looked at the fuel pressure. Pulled that video up, and fuel pressure looked good. Fuel pressure didn't move at all. It jumped a few times, but I think it was maybe a little bit of air in the line, since it's never been sprayed or nothing like that. So I think it might have had just a little bit, because there's not a purge or anything on the fuel, so kind of is what it is on that deal. But once it got that out of the system, fuel pressure sat right there where we set it at. Plugs look good. Let's I think we're gonna go try 100 horse shot. Just check it out, make sure everything looks good. Like I said, I'm gonna probably throw a little bit more fuel in it. I might just throw a little more fuel for now since I don't have any bigger jets without jumping like there's a 26 thousandths jet in there right now. The next closest size jet I have to it is a 31. So I might just add a little bit of fuel to the tune to try to richen it up a little bit, because the FR was, it averaged, you know, like in the an 88 or a 90, and we're kind of targeting 8.5 or a 0.85 for lambda, which is 0.85 is like 12.5 air to fuel, so on the gasoline scale. So yeah, let's get it put back together.
All right, we made a couple of changes, and we're gonna try it again. Got the full 100 shot in it this time. We're only pulling 2 degrees, and I added some fuel to the main table, so we're gonna make a little short pull real quick. Make sure the air to fuel still looks good off of nitrous.
All right, back home, and I haven't pulled the plug or anything yet, but after from the way they looked off the first one, I expect no issues there. So I'm gonna let it cool down. I'll just do that in the morning. I figure go ahead, end it off here. I don't foresee anything else too intriguing along the way for the tuning process. So we got on that last one, I don't know if you could hear me in car, but we I put 2 degrees back in it, so we're only pulling 2 degrees. It was ramped up to 100 shot. It was on a 1 second ramp to 100, 0 to 100. Fuel pressure still looked good. Happy about that. It was a little bit more consistent on the air to fuel ratio with the added fuel in the tune, and I like the way that the air to fuel looked better just when I made an NA pull. So happy about that. It actually did cut the nitrous. It got on the air to fuel control actually, so it did go a little bit lean. I don't really want to put any more in the tune, so I'm gonna order some little bit bigger jets. I don't have any more here. The next biggest size I have are 31s. There's 26s in it now, so I'm gonna shoot for kind of in the middle. Probably order some 28s or something like that, and try that. So it'll be a few more days before I can mess around with it, but it's all really close. As long as the plugs look good, I'm happy with it. And that was with the air to fuel ratio control on the solenoids being off. That was just it getting on the safety. It would have had to have pulled nitrous to try to combat the lean condition, so I'd rather pull fuel. So I'll just wait, get some more jets in, and we'll keep playing with it there. So I'm really happy with it. I figure I'll close it out here, kind of go over everything we did. We got the standalone fuel system. If for some reason you haven't seen the first video, go back and watch it. I'll put all where I assembled everything. Standalone fuel system, air motor regulator, it's all -6 line. Got solenoids and everything all mounted up here, plate. On the wiring side, I don't think I showed it. Let me get the light on. The Maximizer 6, in my wallet. The Maximizer 6 I put inside the console, mounted up. Obviously I had to cut out the bottom to be able to get it up in there. So there's on the Trailblazers there's 2 bolt holes. I just cut right in front of those bolt holes and left the little rib sections on either side. Built a little false floor out of some ABS plastic, and that's where we got the Maximizer set up. So whenever I need to hook up to it, the port's right there to hook into the laptop. Got the switches here, got arm.
the bottle heater, purge, and then this is the two-step or activation. Like the way I was doing it when we were out there testing it was I had the two-step disconnected, and I had it set in the computer to arm the system with the button, so I could spray it. I was activating it with this button going down the road. If we were going to go dig race or something like that, like we were going to go to the track, and I wanted to spray it off the hit, then I would hook the two-step back up. I just have a little connector on it, plug it back in, go back into the computer, put the tune in it that says to disarm it off of this button, and then when we press this button, that it deactivates it, and then when I let off the button, it would arm it. So and then it would come on at the hit. So got the pressure gauge there, air fuel, and then obviously the bottles in the back with the sensor and everything. Got the heater sensors right there all wired up. So gotta say took a lot longer than I anticipated, but we're done and spraying nitrous now. So we'll get it fine-tuned and try to find some races. So if y'all enjoyed it, if y'all would please subscribe, drop a like, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If, again, I'm new to this, so if you got some input, something that I can change up, something to do better on, teach me. I'm down to learn. I like to learn things. So anyway, we'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good one.